The reason you don't want to polish coins is because the most desirable coin, there's a lot of parallels between coin collectors and like comic book collectors and, action figure collectors. However it left the print shop, however it left, Mattel Toys, however it left the factory, the mint, that is the most desirable. That's the purest
But you polish
example.
it, it's shiny again, and then it's like, what is that?
No, but see, here's the thing. Let's look at a. All right, so like these Kennedy half dollars have a really nice, what we would call luster. Okay, the way the light hits them, and like these what we call the fields, the big blank areas in the coin. The way the light hits them, it only hits them in that way when they are in a uncirculated mint state. Like the Franklin half dollars, they've had a bit of a rougher life here, and the light doesn't quite suck you in as well. And if you were to polish the coin with, I mean, the true barbarians will just use like a Brillo pad or steel wool. But even if you were to use like a polishing compound, right? You are going to you're going to see that because of the abrasives used, it's going to affect that luster in a way that is unpleasing, that in a way that is negative, and because no matter how you polish it, polishing is a abrasive and destructive process. So when you polish, you are going to lose fine details. Like all of this detail here in Kennedy's hair, that's all going to go away. And that's going to also detract from the value of the coin. So even if like we had decided that like polishing coins, you know, we kind of all agree it's a sin in coin collecting. Even if that weren't the case, you wouldn't want to do it anyway because it would devalue the coin, because the coin's value is not purely based on how shiny it is. It's kind of the nature of the shine and also the amount of detail present.
But okay, theoretically though,
Don't make
like
me send you
that.
to the back of the class.
But I'm not trying to troll. I'm trying to learn.
Okay, all right.
So theoretically though, there are ways to clean it without being damaging to the coin.
Theoretically, yes, and in practice, so sometimes you've got coins like this. Like this Franklin half dollar, it has kind of it's got some yellow shit going on, okay? And a strong argument could be made, if this was a particularly valuable coin, that if we could safely remove the yellow shit, that would increase the eye appeal of the coin, and we would be able to see the detail better, and that would improve the value as well. And those are all sound and fair arguments. There are chemical methods that I'm not familiar with, and basically they're spoken of in the hushest of tones. Like I think it's like a trade secret. And I don't know, maybe Big Coin doesn't want you to learn this one weird trick to improving the value of your collection. There are purportedly chemical methods that can be used to address some of those things. Usually, people like PCGS, who I have some of my coins graded through. I think they offer a coin restoration service where they would purport to do some of those things. However, they're only interested in doing that if your coin is like worth, several thousands of dollars, possibly tens of thousands. Like it's got to be worth it for them to try. And then even then, they basically don't guarantee the results.
And mind you, this is like maybe 5% trolling. But I'm surprised that nobody's looked up like the top 50 most like coin compositions, like the materials are made out of,
Mm-hmm.
and used a list of acids and alkalines that won't affect those in order to just make a public, oh hey, you gotta you've got what's the word I'm looking for? You've got copper coin from this year that's going to be this content. Use this acid. It should eat everything off of it except for the copper.
So I can tell you that the composition of American coins, it'll even tell you here. The composition of these coins is 90% silver, 10% copper. That's the recipe we used. Not quite since the beginning, but that was basically the composition we used for about 100 years. Was a straight 90-10. Of course, silver's quite reactive. So that's very challenging. There are things that don't react with silver. I guess to an extent. I think one of the real difficulties with silver is I think a lot of the things that you could use to safely remove debris would introduce more rapid oxidization so that ultimately the coin would end up tarnishing quicker over time. This is kind of speculation on my part. I haven't actually read too much into the material science. I think I tried once 10-15 years ago. When you were a wee lad? When I was a young warthog. So one thing that we have to do, we have to look at for the... go ahead.
So, with silver, I know there's a chemical reaction that you can have.
Mm-hmm.
That, you put silver in a certain chemical composition with, electric, with, a mild charge, and it will instantly polish it without damaging the silver whatsoever.
Well... I don't think that's entirely true. So that's electrolysis. Electrolysis is also a really good method to remove rust. I know a little bit about electrolysis. Basically, you've got your I don't know which is which. You've got an anode and a cathode. You've got your coin that you want clean. Now, in order to do that, you have to run a charge through the coin. And that's kind of challenging, kind of gripping the coin to an extent that it's going to get an electric charge without damaging or scratching the coin. That's a little bit challenging, because we care about that. We can't just buff it out, as established. That's sinful.
I want to polish it.
Don't do it. I will slap your fingers. Don't do it.
So the proofs that you got me for my birth year, don't do that to them?
I mean, here's the thing. I could get you another set for $15, so they are your coins, and they're not valuable, so do as you please. If you've got coins that are valuable, that's when I get a little bit sad and don't want you to do things.
I don't think I have any valuable coins.
Okay.
And I'm too lazy to actually do that, so...
To finish my rant on electrolysis, you've got your thing that you want polished, and then you've got a sacrificial, I think this is the anode. So you've got another piece of material in the bath that is going to collect all of the tarnished metal. And basically what it is kind of like an acid. It's kind of like a slow acid. It is dissolving the actual surface of the coin and moving that material to the anode. And that will, because that's removing the most oxidized layers first, yes, it will make it shinier. However, you are still removing material from the coin, and that's not desirable. So that's why we don't do electrolysis on coins, generally speaking.
So, but theoretically, you could control it to. And, okay, I'm probably getting way too into this, but like now I'm kind of fascinated. If you're, it's on a, like a almost molecularly small level.
It is a very fine amount. I agree with you. I and material science is very fascinating. It to some extent I don't think it's easy to get that removal process to evenly take material off. It's I'm not going to say it's random as to where the material comes off because that's not true either, but getting it to happen evenly, that's very challenging. There was a while where I was watching a lot of YouTube videos where this guy restored Hot Wheels cars from like the 60s and 70s, and those were made out of die-cast zinc. And the paint that they used to use back then was translucent. And so if the zinc beneath the paint had oxidized, the paint job would look like shit. So he would use electrolysis to put fresh zinc atop the coin. He was kind of doing it in reverse of what we're talking about with the coins. He's adding material to the coins and then polishing it down. And you can tell it's being polished. It doesn't look the same as a factory Hot Wheels, but it's kind of the same thought process. So in some communities, like that sort of approach is permissible, but please don't do it to my coins.
So, interesting. Last bit on this point, because, like, I understand now. So, interesting one, though.
Yeah.
There are Warhammer people who will use electrolysis to gold coat.
Oh, sure.
Their,
Totally. Yeah. There is a fascinating video I can send you because it's like traditionally it's really difficult to apply a proper metal finish to plastic. But there is a really good video by a really good Canadian YouTuber called, I think, the Thought Emporium, where he's figured out how to metal plate literally anything. He was able to electroplate glass, which shouldn't be possible. So, yeah, it's cool stuff.